Hi everyone, this is Josh Culp. We are learning Daf Shvui. We're on Masechet Gittin, Daf Kaf Bet. And there's a Braita here in a little sugya that I want to talk about in a little bit of like a way that I don't usually talk in this forum, which is a darshani way, a sermonic kind of way, relating mundane halachot to our lives, perhaps to my life as well. And the Braita talks about a tree, half of which is in Eretz Israel, and half of which is outside of Eretz Israel. And according to Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, the fruit that grows on this tree are tevel and chulin, non-tithe produce, meaning produce that is subject to tithing and to trumot, but hasn't been taken out yet. It's still growing on the tree. And chulin are non-sacred produce that doesn't have to be tithed, mixed in together. Meaning the tree is actually a tree that is both, to use sort of more modern terms, Israeli and non-Israeli. And Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel says that which grows in Hagadel b'chiyuv, that which grows in the land of Israel, where fruit is subject to tithes and to truma, is liable for tithes and truma, and the stuff that grows outside of the land of Israel is exempt. How can you tell? That the rest of the sugya talks about, but the end of the sugya has a very interesting little issue there. That the question is, does the air sort of remix in the tevel and the truma, the tevel and the chulin, the produce from Israel and the produce from outside of Israel, or do they remain separate if there is like a stone separate them below? I don't want to get into the nitty-gritties of this sugya, but I do want to talk maybe a little bit about my own personal life, where I do feel a little bit like a tree planted both in the land of Israel and partly out of the land of Israel. I've lived a little bit more than half of my life in Israel. Though I spend a significant portion of every year in America, teaching in various places and in the summer camp at Ramah in New England. I raised my kids in a Hebrew-speaking environment, but in my home we speak English. I engaged quite often with Israeli news and Israeli politics and Israeli culture, but I engage equally as much with American politics, American teaching. I speak English most of the day, more often than I speak Hebrew, and I really feel like a tree that's been planted a little bit in the land of Israel and a little bit outside of the land of Israel. And sometimes I think that inside me, everything is moravin zeh b'zeh. Everything is all mixed up. And I think this is common for immigrants, that inside you have parts of yourself that are both Israeli and American, or both your original culture and your secondary culture, your adopted culture. And it's very hard to separate one element of my own personality, my own thinking, my own life, my own way of acting from the other. And sometimes I'll admit that sometimes I feel that there's part of me that's purely American. There's a lot of me that's still American. And part of me that's still that's very Israeli, which is what Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel says, that wherever you grow, that's where you are. And the part of me and the part of my friends, my family that have grown in Israel is Israeli, and the part that grew up in America remains American. So I don't have an answer. Can't really put my finger exactly on what part of my personality is Israeli and what part of my personality is American. But I think it's in a midrashic kind of sermonic kind of way. It's an interesting braita to think about. All of us have roots in multiple places as Jews, Americans, or citizens of other cultures, and to think about what parts of us remain faithful to our roots and what parts are really mixed in by the air in which we currently find ourselves is, I think, worthy of thinking about in evaluating who we are, our own identity, and the paths of our own lives.